connection. We've got storms around. Hey. Yeah, Leslie. Oh, Leslie. Okay, so we'll carry on. Keep coming back on just a minute. Oh, here we go. Right, so basically...
Yeah, everybody's saying you're freezing. I mean, you're freezing and you're 2 feet away.
I'm freezing.
Freezing. Everybody's saying it.
Right, do I keep coming back though? Because could somebody tell me? Because I don't, there's nothing that we can do, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, but obviously there's a bit of a gap.
Yeah, so we'll just carry on and see. I'm sure it is the weather because it's nothing else. There's no equipment problem or anything. So let's crack on. So what I will be using is we'll be using the Postage and More, and I've already got, and of course as we know, this is the Postage and More, which is absolutely fantastic. We've seen this lots over the last week or so because of course it's all newly released. This is shouldn't have favourites, but I think this is one of my favourites, although although I do love the Daisies as well, but so I'm going to mix the two anyway. So Postage and More A6 size stamp, and all I'm going to be using is this one which is that one that's already on a block. Now I'm going to be using blocks tonight. You know I use blocks as much as I can anyway, because I've used blocks for years and years and years. I do use a stamp press. Never been a problem. I enjoy using a stamp press for my bigger stamps. I do know a lot of you only use a stamp press, and I'm sure you have got blocks, but for this particular card I think you're going to get into a little bit of a mess if you use, and it's going to take you forever. So I think you need to dig out some of your blocks. Okay, you only need a small one for this one, obviously, and then you can use and then of course we are using the Daisies. Now I'm not the one that I did originally, I had all the Daisies in, but I'm only going to be using the 2 Daisies. I'm going to be using the one that you see here, the one that goes off to your left, and then the double daisy head, whereas before I did use all of them, but just a little bit less of the colour in, not the time mind, but you don't want to be here till 9 o'clock. Okay, so that's the only stamp that we're using of this one. We're using, let me just put that away.
Penny's just dropped in.
Sorry?
Penny's just dropped in.
Penny, oh, hi Penny. We're also going to be using the Just Daisies, like I've just said, and we are going to be using this one and this one, okay, and then of course the other 2 stamp sets that were released are the Floral Delights and also Julie's Letters and Number Tiles. So they were the 4 sets, but I'm just using the 2 tonight. Okay, so what we need to do first, we need to, now the other thing is, so obviously we're using the stamps, I'll just put those in front here, just showing you. I'm also using the 2 little tiny stamps, which I absolutely love, and they are off, just 2 of them off the Postage and More. Now I've chosen the little tiny flower and the little tiny butterfly, but there is a star and there is a heart, so obviously you could mix and match whichever. You could use them all if you wanted to, that's not a problem. They're the 2 that I've chosen, so we will be using those in a little while. So I've got those on a little tiny stamp block. I'm also going to be using my VersaFine Claire, and then I am going to be using my pencils. Now most of these are the same, but I've just sharpened them all so that I don't have to be spending a lot of time sharpening, because some of the stages you do need to make sure your pencils are sharpened. Now I've got HB, which is these 3 HB. I've also got a 2B. Now this is actually a Derwent sketching pencil, but any 2B pencil would be absolutely fine. I I do a lot of this and I really enjoy it, and I also use pencil work on my parchment and also in my colouring. So I do have a set of these, which I'm very lucky, and this one is the 2B. I haven't had the joke yet from Mark. And then this one is the 3B, which is also the one of the Derwent ones. But you know what? You don't have to rush out and buy these, alright? You will have pencils like this in your collection. If you do want to actually purchase any, one of the best places to go is the Works, because they have a full set of fantastic sketching pencils for a seriously low price. And honestly, you don't need to be paying a lot of silly money for it, I'm just saying. Right. So that is what we're going to be using, which actually isn't a great deal. Now, the piece of card that I've got is ordinary smooth cardstock. You don't have to have any fancy cardstock at all. And it's measuring 16.5 square. Right, so first thing that we've got to do, we've got to make ourselves a pencil border. Alright, so I look at my very scruffy ruler, but it does the job. So I've got one of these rulers that have got the actual markings on, which I find really, really useful. And I have I've gone in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little squares. And I do believe the little squares are 1/2 inch each, so that is 2.5. And all I'm doing is very, very lightly just making a framework, which is really important. Don't try to do this without, because you will go all skew-whiff. Alright, so just very lightly, and obviously everything in pencil is going to rub out. Now, you can do the frame whatever size you like, but I know that by doing it this size, I know it's going to fit, and I know it's going to work, okay, because I've worked it out. So it's 16.5 inches square, and then I've gone in, so what would that be in inches? Oh, I've got an inch ruler. It's took my inch ruler away from me so that I would learn how to use centimetres.
Yeah.
I think that's mean. I think it's mean.
No.
2.5 centimetres, so that's
What
an
is?
inch then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
25 mil.
So it's an inch frame. There you go.
Yeah.
He's being mean. He's making me learn how to do
Right.
centimetres. Right, so that is where we're going to start. And what we need to do is we need to make a frame using this one stamp. All right. So it does take a few minutes, but I wanted to show you this all, you know, from start to finish in real time. I have at my next stage, I will show you something that I've already got ready. So I won't be doing everything in real time, because, like I say, it's not a 5-minute wonder. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to put my stamp like so, just in the middle there. Now I'm going to ink it up every time, and then what we're going to do is we're going to, now this is your choice again, completely your choice. You can either alternate it, vertical and horizontal, or vertical and horizontal, or you can do what I'm going to do. And I think personally it's that little bit more interesting. I don't know, it might not be, but ooh,
Really wearing that?
I was nearly wearing it. Butterfingers. So basically I'm not doing a pattern as such. I'm not following a vertical, horizontal, or I'm not doing 2 of one, 2 of another. I am literally going ad hoc. Now I've come to a corner. When you come to a corner, you are going to go slightly over. that pencil line, but that's not a problem, because what you are going to do, you're going to just take the next one around the corner and then line it up with the pencil. Okay? Now, of course, when you've got a block, you can see where you're going. All you're doing is getting it as lined up as what you can. Don't fret if you don't get it absolutely 100% on that line.
Got Denise has just arrived.
Oh, good evening, Denise. Thank you for coming in. So you haven't missed a great deal. I've just made the framework.
She's very happy because she's found it.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Now, so I've just made an inch framework all the way around with the pen. Just do a pencil line, and all I'm doing now is using the very smallest of the postage and more stamps and just going around my framework. Okay, so did you see, turn it as well, because it's a lot easier to see where you're going. It's easier than stretching your arm up and then potentially getting it smudged or not getting it on the line. Okay, so I'm turning the corner now, so turn your page. Also, Denise, I'm not going in any pattern. I'm being very random, using the same stamp.
Philip's, sorry.
Philippa.
Yeah, Philippa's got a new name for me.
Oh, what's that?
Metric mark.
Metric mark. Oh, I think that's good.
That
Yeah.
is a good one, yeah.
Or metric markings is annoying. That's more like it, Philippa. It's just, honestly, wow. He's older than me. You'd think he'd be the one that does the women.
Yeah, I do both. But
Not
I
much
maybe
older,
I
I
do-
must admit.
I do metric.
I am trying. Yeah. Before you say it, Brian.
Caroline's just joined us as well.
Oh, hello, Caroline. Right, so you can see it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long at all. Once you've got your card now, I would, if I was you, if you was going to do this, I would maybe do a few at a time. Because you don't have to always put the same flower in the middle. Alright, you can do different flowers in the middle, of course, or you don't even have to do a flower, because this stamp is very generic. It's not. It doesn't say use with a flower. It doesn't say masculine. It just is very generic, isn't it? Now you'll notice that we've now got one space there. Now it does fit. Hold your breath, there we go. It does slightly go over, okay. Now that depends, it sometimes does and sometimes doesn't, so it depends how close you are with the other ones. So say there, I've got, say here, this one, I maybe could have gone a bit closer, and with that one I could have done, and if that had been the case, that would have gone nicely, but you know, you don't need to worry about it, because you're going to shade it, and that will actually cover up a multitude of things. Now what we want to do is, I want to just block that, just to make sure that that is not wet for when I...
Catherine's just joined us as well.
Catherine?
Yeah.
Oh,
Catherine
lovely.
And Angie says she loves that frame. What a good idea.
Oh, thank you, Angie. And it's really is. It's very, very simple. And obviously you don't have to do it this big if you don't want to. Just try out different sizes. You could obviously do like a rectangle. I wouldn't suggest you try and do a circle, because I don't think that's going to work, but you never know. AI and all that, we could always improve it with AI. Right, so now what we've
Jean
got...
Harrison's with us.
I know
She's
she is.
bouncing between
She's
Yeah.
back. Is she back now? Oh,
Your
Thursday.
Barbara.
Oh.
Your Barbara, great.
No, she'll be bounced between me and Phil. Oh, sorry. Oh. Right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to put our lily in the middle. So this is the, obviously with the lily, they're bigger stamps. So if you really, really feel happier to go in with your stamp press, then now would be the time. So I'm just going to put it.
Yeah, Philip will like the idea as well. Frame, I would imagine.
Well, it's just such a well, the whole stamp set's fabulous, and obviously with the other pieces of the actual set, you could do something. Obviously, not a massive frame like I say it's not massive, but not a big frame like this. But with the squares and the rectangle, you could quite easily do this. So there we go. Just making sure that is pressed down nicely. Which it is, and I just want to just rub that. There we go. Lovely. So I don't need that anymore, and I don't need. Oh, where to put that? I don't need that anymore. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to go round with these smaller stamps. Now. They are a little bit more, I wouldn't say fiddly, but I am going to, no, I don't want to get ink on the sides of the, I'm going to just dot these around and then add on the butterfly where I want. Like I said earlier, of course you could use all of the little ones. They would all work brilliantly. And of course you don't even have to put them on if you don't want to, but I just thought it just added a little bit more to the pattern. Now you can double up on them, obviously, on the flowers if you wanted to. You could just use one stamp the whole thing. Just think these little tiny stamps are little gems in your stamping arsenal.
She's not watching Phil because he's on holiday.
Oh, is he on holiday? Oh, I wonder where he is. I wonder if he's in Cape Verde.
Yeah, where he normally goes, no doubt.
Well, either Cape Verde or Tenerife. Normally. I don't know whether it's the time of year to be going to Cape Verde though, because it's normally November time when it's the best time, apparently. I've been. Has anybody been to Cape Verde? It is a place I'd love to go to, I have to say. So we're going back to visit Croatia this year in September.
Yeah, somebody's birthday.
I've got a big birthday. It's got a 0 on the end. Thank you, Brian. It is the 5 and 0. No, it's not. I wish. I'm just hoping that Brian's put that. I just hope he hasn't put 7 and 0. Yeah, so Mark said, right, we'll save up and we are going on holiday this year because it's your big birthday. So that's where we're going. We've been before, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Not to the same place.
No, we're not going to the same place. Oh no. Right, so I've taken the little flower off and I've put the little butterfly on. and I'm just adding that just in the little spaces that I've left. But you know, you can leave a little space if you want. You don't have to put. You don't have to do it in sequence.
I've got a question from.
Oh, question.
Well, it's not a question. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. Saya. Sayeh.
Oh yes,
She wants
yes.
to know where she can purchase them from.
What's that? Sorry. The stamps.
I would imagine so. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we are very, very honoured to be a stockist. Let's create, but there is a list of stockists at the top of the page. On the Julie Hickey page, there is a list of stockists, and
I think we've still got.
we still have got a teeny weeny bit in stock. I do know that they've been selling. Well, we know that they have been selling it very, very well, because they are such a it's such a beautiful collection, and especially the postal stuff. I mean, I know it's not that I've got a favourite, but they are very, very useful for so many different things. And I think the whole design team found this as well with the postage stamp and more.
Brian says he's coming to Gatecrash your 50th. He's
Bless
a bit
you.
late. Yeah.
Bless you. Don't be rude saying he's going to be a bit late.
No, he is late. No, a bit.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you. Right, so we've got our composition with our stamps. We don't need to do any more stamping now. I mean, there is just the sentiment if you want to do it, but we don't need to have any more stamping. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little bit of the shading in the actual postal stamp area, because then I have got one that I've done the whole thing on. Alright, so this is why I wanted to do it in stages with you. So what we're going to do is I've just turned it round slightly because I find it easier. So what we're going to fill in, in fact I'll show you, this is the next step. So what I'm going to show you is how I've done this part here, you know, this part, but I'm not going to go all the way around because I've done it already. Okay, so I'm going to just start in this corner. You don't need to start anywhere in particular. And the one thing that I must point out or stress, what you need to do is hardly press on. Now if we were doing a class now, what I would do is I would go round everybody and actually and the ladies will know this that come to my parchment class, when we're colouring, you need to colour lightly, don't colour heavily. You can always put more colour on, and when you cover heavily it indents the card and it really doesn't look nice, and you can't get it shaded the same. So when we do a class, I show them on their hand. And also, if you can notice, I'm not colouring like this, I'm colouring on the side. Okay, now also I'm going to move my card around each time to keep the direction of the shading in the same, going in the same way. Alright, so each time just move it around. So if you have got a vertical like I've done here, turn it and go from top to bottom, and if it is horizontal, do the opposite. Alright, because it's what happens is you're going to get that lovely it's going to look really different. The shading is going to be in a different direction, and it's going with the flow of the actual stamp, the way that you've stamped it. I do hope I'm trying to explain this correctly. Normally when I'm doing this, I'm sat very quietly. Mark loves it when I'm quiet.
Yeah.
Right, we'll forget what he just said. Right, now, I'm going to just shade these. Now what I'm going to use is, I'm going to use paper stump. I've got various. I've got bigger ones, I've got smaller ones, I've got skinnier ones than this. Cheap as chips, honestly. They really, really are. You normally buy them in a pack. I think the proper name for them is a tortillon. I call them a paper stump because that's what it is. It's a paper stump. It's a stump of paper. It's a compressed roll of paper. All right, and I'll show you in a second what how you can actually sharpen it if you wanted it slightly sharper.
Shelley likes it because it's so dimensional.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Shelley. Now, what I'm doing is I'm just basically just rubbing over, and again, I'm not being hand-fisted, really, really heavy with it. I'm just going over. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying not to cover the whole of the stamped area. So I'm leaving a little bit of a border around if you can, because that's going to give it that little bit of interest as well, having that little bit left. So what will also happen is it will make it nice and shiny. So when you have blended it well enough, it will make it really, really shiny. And what I'm going to do is, in fact, I'll do it. I'll just do it for a minute. Just have a look at that one a bit. And if you also go with the flow of how you did the pencil, normally I would spend a lot more time, but I'm obviously not going to now. What I want to do is I want to bring it up and show, if I'm hoping you can see the difference between this one and that one. So this one I've just blended all in. This one I haven't, so you can tell the difference, can't you? So I'll just do this one. There we go. Right, so what you would do is you do that all the way round. Okay, so the next bit that we're going to do is, and I'm just going to show you on this panel, we're going to go on the insides, and this is when you need your pencil to be on this particular stamp. Obviously we've got the little bits and bobs that go in, and well, like a postage stamp of course. So you do need to maybe go a little bit more on the pointy pencil rather than going flat like we did before. The other reason for doing as much colouring flat as what you can is also you save your pencil. You save your pencil a lot. You don't go quite so you don't use as much of the actual pencil, and when you're using, these are only ordinary lead pencils and they're not expensive at all. But if you are using some pencils that are a little bit more expensive, I mean, I've got my personal choice is Faber-Castell, and I think you'll have seen a few bits and pieces that I've coloured with those. Now, they're not the cheapest pencil, but they are one of the best. And they're not the most expensive, I might admit. There's a lot more that's a lot more expensive. But in that case, you don't want to be using the pencil wrongly, unnecessarily up, if you know what I mean. Right, I'll just do the end here, and then we're going to. So there's no art as such involved in this, It's just colouring in. Now, obviously, again, all the way round, I personally prefer to do everything all together, then the next thing all together, then the next thing all together. But if you want to do one section and then do the next section, again, that's entirely up to you. But what we need to do now is we need to blend out this pencil marking. And what will happen now is, hopefully, you'll take out that harsh line, and what it will do is it will give you, just go in between that bit as well, and it will give you a really soft outline to it.
Brian likes his Faber-Castell as well.
Excellent, Brian. Aren't they absolutely incredible? I've collected them collected bigger sets over the years because they work perfectly. Absolutely superb with parchment. And as you know, I do teach parchment craft, so it is something that I just love it anyway. I just love to colour anyway. It is something, it is a big hobby of mine, so it makes me feel arty. Right, so again, I've done it quick, but you're getting the idea, and this is what this is all about. So I'm going to just bring that up again and just show you. Just move that out of the way. There we go. So you can see now, instead of a harsh bit of lead penciling, we've now got that nice soft finish. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one in. Okay, so what I've done with this one now, so I've done exactly the same as what I was doing on that last one, but I've gone all the way round. All this is blended. Oh, say all of it. Let me just do that one a bit more. This one here. I was doing these last night while I was watching TV. I was watching Race Across the World. Is anybody else watching it? Oh, I do enjoy that programme. You learn so much as well from watching it. Right, so we've gone all the way all the way round. All the way. No, stop it.
Jonathan Watt.
I can't. All the way round with our filling in and also around with our shading. And now what we're going to do, we're going to do a flower. So this is a lovely bit, this is. So we're going to take our softer pencil, which is this one that I'm using, the 2B, and all we're going to do is very light, just lightly again, just going in the tops, just the tops, and that little tiny bit bottom. That little bit at the bottom, and the idea is that you will have the white space in the middle. So this is why you need to be mindful. Don't go too mad with the going down the bottom of going too far down to the bottom of the actual petal itself. Okay, so if it's a slightly smaller petal, be mindful just to make it a little bit less. And then just with the top bit, you're just going to go round there. Okay, so I'll just carry on. What I'll do is I'll just do two of the flowers, because I have got one ready. And finish with the flowers, but I want to show you how we do this. Now with the leaves, so you've got this piece here on the leaf, and then if we just go just a little bit from the bottom There, that's enough. It's enough on that leaf. So just on the edge of there. But of course this is only my interpretation of it. You want to fill in the whole leaf. You do. But I do think that leaving a little bit of the white space gives it that lovely dimension, doesn't it? So pretend we've done all of that. There's a lot of pretending going on tonight.
Gail likes luminance pencil.
Oh yes.
as well.
Oh, they're lovely, Gail. Oh, they are nice. Friend of mine has got some Caran Dash. Is that what they're called? Oh my lord. Very, very, very nice. They're a bit like the Rolls Royce. So I'm going in again with my, actually I'm going to just put that, I don't want to be rubbing my hand on there. I should have had this in the first place, because what you're doing is you're going to be, if, what I suggest is the same, again, going back to parchment, but your hands have natural oils in them, and I always say when we're doing something like this, or when you do parchment or whatever, don't use hand cream before you do it, because even though this is card and not parchment, you will leave marks on your card, alright, and you won't even know really that you've done it until afterwards, and you can see it and you think, oh, that's really annoying when I've made all that effort. So just doing each petal, making sure, but you're still leaving that little bit of white space. So just have something like this, a bit of kitchen roll, a bit of blue, whatever you have, or just a cloth or some description, just put it over the previous pencil work that you've done already, because it won't smudge it. The thing is, if you do smudge it, it's not a problem, is it? Because you're just going to get a rubber on it and you're just going to rub it out, because it's only pencil. But it is good practice. It's good practice to do it, and yes. So just a suggestion. Now, this particular paper stump is starting to get a little bit flat. So I'm going to show you now what you will do. Just finish this. Okay, once you've got that lovely, trouble is you're not going to be able to, don't think I'm going to be able to show you how lovely that that shine is really. But what you need to do is you need to get a piece of sanding, a sandpaper, quite coarse. This is my sanding block I use for MDF. And what we need to do is, I'll put my cloth there so I don't make a mess. On its side, you just give it a sand. Take the bits away. And also, that applies if you're using different colours. And no, tonight we're only using the pencils, but if you're using different colours and you've only got a few paper stumps, you haven't got one for each colour, which would be highly unlikely, I think, but you know, some people might, then what you need to do is, if you are changing a colour, then you need to rub the previous colour off. Alright, so that's how you would do it. Alright, now that's our flower done. So you can see, really, it seems to pop, doesn't it, really quickly. And you can see that. Now, before I put my cloth, my bit of kitchen roll on there, you can see I've got a little bit of, smudging on there. So I've just got, this is I need to be too fussy because I'm actually going to blend around that edge, but I'm not going to be blending in this middle bit there. So there we go. I've got a putty rubber. Now putty rubbers are ever so easy to come by, but of course if you've just got an ordinary rubber, it's fine. No problem. This is why it's so easy to do this, because you don't really need any particular equipment. Now you will notice on this one that I forgot to put my bits, so I do apologise, and I will do that afterwards. What I'm going to do actually, I'm going to end up with 3 that I've finished. Now 2 of them I'm going to give away. If so anybody that is watching tonight, if you would like, or no, I tell you what, the best thing to do is, if you don't want one, just say, oh thank you, but I don't, well you don't have to say thank you, but I don't want one. But what I'll do is I'll just do a random pick of everybody watching this evening, and then I'll let you know tomorrow, and then we'll I'll give 2 away. Now I won't be able to send them out tomorrow because we're travelling to a wedding tomorrow. We're going to a wedding, hence my nice nails. I've seen them nice twice this year. That's pretty much it now. Right, so we've just got to pretend that the other bits are around the edge, alright? We're good at pretending, aren't we? So we've got our flower finished and everything. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to do some shading around the edge. Now before we actually do the shading around the edge, what I did was I actually drew a line, but this time it's going to stay. Right, so pop that down like so, and all you're doing is you're just going in okay, and just wipe the ruler there just a bit, because obviously the lead pencil does make a mess. Bit gappy there, but that doesn't matter. I can fill that in with some shading, and then one more here. Now what this is going to do, this is like giving the frame its own edge, and it I'm hoping that you can see. In fact, what I'll do is, I know this flower isn't completely covered, but I'm going to just put those 2 together, and then you'll see what I mean about giving it its own edge, and it really does make that rather nice. So that's, you do that at that point, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to very lightly, we're just going to go in and just fill in these little bits. Okay. And then if there has been this one that's just slightly more of a gap than another, you'd see you're not going to notice.
Vicky loves the card as well. She's
Vicky?
yeah, she's
Oh,
loving
thank you, Vicky.
working with the pencils.
Oh, do you know, I just love it. I just love it. I really do. Now this is where you need obviously a bit more of a point, but don't worry. Don't overthink it, just make sure it's a little bit more pointed than. So you just run it over your sanding block. Just, it's like anything, it's a little smaller space. It's like using a smaller paintbrush, that's all. You need to get in a smaller area, you just need to use a smaller paintbrush. This is the bit that was a little bit gappy, a bit wider, but I say it's not going to really make any difference now I'm colouring it in. And then the last, oh no it's not, third one. So this is a nice soft pencil. It's not really harsh. Of course, if you wanted to make this bigger, you could make it into a lovely picture. You could put all the lilies in it. It's the one that I sent to Julie was actually 8-inch on an 8-inch card blank, so you could, so it was quite a bit bigger, but of course you just make it the size that you want to make it. Now this is the last one. So the other thing that I absolutely love doing is pointillism. I don't know if anybody's had a go at pointillism, but basically it is an art form. It's what I don't. It is dotting. It is dotting. Yes, it's exactly dotting. It's not actually dot to dot. I've slightly progressed from dot to dotting, but I obviously I don't draw the image. I use a rubber stamp, or I use a tracer picture or something like that. But basically, it's shading using dots. Look it up. Now, when I say that I do it, I don't do it like the blooming super duper artists do it. I just play around with it and I quite enjoy it. But it's fun. I'll do an example of it at some stage and post it because it's a really fun thing to do. Quite boring to do as a live though, because it literally is just doing dots. Right, there we go. So there might be a couple of those that you just need to titivate up a little bit, but so what we're going to do now is we're going to just concentrate on the corners, and for this I'm going to use my 3B pencil, because what we're going to do is we're going to do like hatching, but it's really faint. I'm hardly touching it. I really am just like a little fairy going on, but never actually recorded a fairy before in my life, but there you go. So once you've done it one way, you're then going to turn it round, and again very lightly. Do it the other. There we go. And then you're going to take your paper stump again. And you don't have to do quite so much heavier blending on this, because it's actually quite nice if you see the hatching on this particular bit. But what is really nice is if you can just extend it. So when you're actually using the paper stump, just extend it so that you've got that blended bit in the corner. So let me just go back in, just really lightly, just go back in over like that, and then I'm just going to bring in this bigger paper stump, because going to give me a little bit of a finer. That's it. There we go. So that is a corner. Okay, so we're going to just do that. What time are we doing? So really, I'm running out of time now, but if I do one more corner and then just emphasise how we, oops. So we just do one more corner. And if we can get them to not actually match as such, but pretty much so it's this like cross hatching, it just creates a really nice that one's a bit bigger than that one, but can always match it up later. I'm drawing them up at the top, so it looks as if it's and then continue around there. So then if you want to just go over, back over, that one's bigger, it's longer. I think it's because that flower's more over that one, that's why it's a bit deceiving. So I would do that a little bit on here, a little bit there and a little bit there. But what I do want to show you is, I want to show you how we go round and just do a little bit of shading just on the outsides of the flower, and it really is just a little bit and I'm just going under, like underneath the leaf as such, the petals, sorry, not the leaf, just underneath the petals. And this one. And then just taking my little one. If you find that you think, oh, that's a bit heavy just there, just rub it out. Just rub it out, because it just doesn't, it's not going to make any difference. Just rub it out and just have another little go at it. Because I don't know about you, but if there is a little bit of something that is niggling you, it's not going to sit right with you at all. If it's just that little bit, just rub it out. do is very quickly, if you don't mind, just finish off those corners because just a bit of cross hatching. Nice just to see it finish complete. Well, almost.
Possibly to your frozen.
We're frozen.
You are, yeah, I'm afraid.
More, yeah. Have a look on the no? We'll look on let's see.
Oh yeah, that's still.
Almost still.
Running off that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'm still here.
On
But
and
let me
kicking.
know. I'm carrying on.
Oh yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah, they're still watching. So.
Oh, fantastic. Right, so just very quickly, just done those corners. I know I've said it a million times, but you would take a bit more time. You wouldn't be racing like I'm doing because obviously you'd have a bit more time. Now, one thing that we need to do is we need to just take our rubber, like I say, whatever rubber you've got, and just don't obviously take away the shading because you've just worked hard at getting that in, but take away any marks that you think really just don't belong. So if you go away from the actual shading, that's better than going towards it.
Strange that everybody else can see you apart from me, and I'm 2 foot away. How odd.
There we go. So just taking, just putting it away, so then you're not likely to go too much into the shading that you've spent all that time doing. And it's just really to take away any excess marks that you just don't want. And like I say, I use my putty rubber because it's fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Right, okay, so we're now almost there. The one thing left that I want to do is just to do some really, really faint marks in these tiles. And I'm just using a nice, not really sharp, and I sharpened it just before we came on the live, and it's the HB pencil. Just looks like a spider's just walked over it. I was going to say a slug, but I'm not sure which is the best really. Like spider. I think maybe spider's just got the edge. Now you might not be able to see it yet, but I'll bring it up to the. Obviously, don't make them all the same. Make them all different. Just little threads. That's it. There we go. And if you wanted to, you could. Oh, I just stuck my putty rubber to my glue roll. That's not very sensible.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know. Never mind. That's fine now. Look. There we go. Right. So then, all you would do then is get a little bit of black and pop it on some black and then a card blank, and that's it.
Bring it up so
Very quickly. Oh yes, yeah. Let me
squiggly
bring it up.
bits.
See the little squiggly bits.
Yeah. Yeah, they look good.
Yep. Okay. Right. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I've made it as much sense as what I could to make it you know, the process basically. So what I will do is I will finish the other two, but like I say, it will be after the weekend now, because literally we go tomorrow to go down to a wedding, and we're not back until Sunday, and then of course it's Father's Day, so we'll be spending time with Mark's dad. Turn. Oh.
What? That's present.
That's
No.
no. That shoe that you saw, if anybody did see it, is actually Mark's dad's present that Mark's made him to go outside on his shed. So yeah, so it's made out of a shoe. Oh, I'm pleased. Oh, yeah, thank you ever so much. I'm looking forward to it. The weekend, yeah, some really, 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 really close friends of ours. So, oh, thank you, Andreen. Thank you, Penny. I really do appreciate everybody popping in, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. I didn't want to. I wanted to do as much prep as I could, because obviously it could have been a little bit boring. But personally, I love watching people colour. But then that's just me. Oh, did you like it, Brian? Brian said that's cool.
Oh.
Would you like to
You,
pass
Brian.
it me, and I'll just show them close up if you want. I know it's not something maybe some of you would be interested in, but let me just. There you go.
It's one of my size 8s.
That was one of Mark's old shoes, and so it's completely fully waterproof, and obviously it's Powertech. So yeah. So it makes the eyes. We use recycled glasses, and yeah, it's quite cute. Is it? Well, sad. I'm not sure whether we could call him cute. I'm not sure if he's cute, but he's different. It's quirky. Quirky. Anyway, I'll let you all go. Sorry I've gone a little bit over, but I do hope you've enjoyed it, and let's see some of you having a go. Andreen, I'm watching, seeing if you'll have a go. Normally Andreen's one of the first. Oh, I didn't put the Just to Say on, did I? Oh, what a wally. There we go. I'll just put it up against there, look. That's right, I've got it all ready. Ooh. There we go. So I've got the Just to Say, which is actually on, it's on the lilies. Yeah, it's on the lilies. And that just goes over onto that corner there. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll get those 2 finished beginning of the week, and then I'll pick a couple of people out, and then I'll get them sent over to you if you would like them. Okay, thank you ever so much for watching. Oh, thank you, Jean. Oh yes, yeah, Jean saying she loved the one that you made with Ken's shoe.
Oh, yeah.
And it's still looking good. Yeah. All right then, I'll let you all go. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and I will I'll see you all soon. Okay, thank you ever so much. Bye. Good night.
Bye.